A number of games that I've already talked about have problems that would go away if you played them a lot. On repeated playthroughs, you'll get used to the horrible controls, or you'll master the stupid amount of challenge. This applies to Bayonetta as well. That being said, I played 15 hours of this game and I never figured out how to evolve from mashing random buttons to pulling off combos and applying them in different situations. Bayonetta reminds me a lot of Ninja Gaiden Black. Now, I didn't really like that game all that too much either, but I at least learned some strategy throughout the game. Plus, it had a reputation behind it for being difficult, so it was fun to at least conquer it, to be able to say, I beat Ninja Gaiden Black. But, for me, that Bayonetta's absolute largest flaw, it's just button mashing, with maybe some occasional dodge thrown in to go into witch time. That witch time is like the Matrix mode. But even triggering that just feels very inconsistent, so I'll end up getting hit a ton anyway. It just gets so boring going through all the levels, when all you're doing is just the same thing. You can't strategize because there are just way too many combos. Consider the original Devil May Cry. Dante can't really do much of anything, he just sort of moves around and hits things and jumps, and there's a few other things thrown in there, like weapon switching and stuff, but with it being so basic, you'd think the game would be either easy or just frustratingly hard, because everything would just come down to perfection. But with Devil May Cry's simplistic system, you can learn the system, understand it, and apply certain moves in certain situations to be effective. Well, that's the complete opposite in Bayonetta, where every button combination produces a new combo. Sure, that's really impressive that they have all these moves, and I think that it's extremely clever that it's not only lets you practice them during the load screen, but then it displays them along with the new combos and statistics next to each one, but you can never really learn. Not without completing the game many times over. But besides that, the money system is just atrocious. You could never buy anything. Maybe it's just because I suck at all the verses, that is the acts of the game, and I can never make any money to buy anything because of my poor performance, but there were a large number of items that I don't think I could even afford even if I saved up all my money I made throughout the entire game. I was able to buy a few new moves here or there, but since, like I said, I couldn't really form any concrete strategy, I don't think they were all that helpful. Oh, and the story's terrible too. It might be confusing and hard to understand, but I think it's just hiding the fact that it's all just atrocious. There's more going on than I'm going to generalize this down to, including Bayonetta's caring or not caring over some kid, but I think it really boils down to, just Bayonetta kills things and is sexy. I mean, I like her inhuman design with the long neck and the long legs, but these cutscenes are absolutely embarrassing. Wait, is it supposed to be ironic? Really, I didn't see any irony, especially now, with that cringeworthy dance scene at the end. It's trash, the whole story. But hey, didn't I say most of these problems go away when you just play the game over and over and over again? You'll play the game on harder difficulties, forcing you to actually learn to strategize and learn combos and apply them. Then you'll be able to actually do well in the verses and make more money and actually be able to use the store. All along the way, you'll desensitize yourself to the awful story, and you'll begin to understand the total convolutedness of it. But that can't be why critics like the game, because they didn't have hours and hours to spend with the game. So why did they give it such high marks? Well, the best thing I can come up with is reviewers like having lots of stuff. Because with more stuff, there's more game. And this game has lots of stuff. Lots of stuff. Lots of story, even though it's incomprehensible. Lots of combos, even though they're incomprehensible. And look at those bosses. They're huge. Boom! That's a lot of bosses there. Just look how big he is. And Bayonetta, look at her. She's so big with her long neck and her long legs. And she's so sexy. Yet she's powerful, so it makes it okay to ogle at her because it's not oppressing females. Yay! But to me, I just don't see it. There's a lot of systems, but the gears don't mesh at all. With no gears moving, the game just ends up a complete chore.